Well, as the director of this place, it's my privilege to welcome not only the dignitaries here, but also all those young minds, at least who have had the curiosity to know who is this Sri Aurobindo. Of course, some of you may have heard of him, but to know him is different. And I have spent last 40 years, 60 years to know him, but still I am the most ignorant fellow about Sri Aurobindo. Because my simple theory is this, that when you look at a mountain from far, you look at the whole thing and you think, oh yeah, I know this mountain. But when you go closer to that, you see only a piece of stone. The whole mountain vanishes out of your vision. So that is Sri Aurobindo. The closer you go to him, the more he becomes invisible. He becomes a consciousness and not a name. So that is the magic that I've learned from Sri Aurobindo, that all great divine personalities are beyond our intellectual capacity. However, in this session, in this seminar, we will share with you what all we know in our ignorance. One of the things that Sri Aurobindo has told very bluntly, I must say, with all due respect to Professor Chandrika here and the Department of History, Sri Aurobindo says, history teaches us nothing. It's quite a shocker when I read that. Because he says, we do not know who is running this show. Because history, as we know it, is only a cultural torrent of events and personalities. All the history lessons teach us about the events, the war, the conquest, the kings, the personalities. But has anyone told you that there's somebody who is running this show? Some universal spirit, some cosmic spirit. Behind all this, there is somebody who is running this show. Secondly, we do not know towards what aim is all this movement going on. You see hundreds and thousands of incidents nowadays on your WhatsApp, nowadays on your mobiles. You get incidents. But how do we know where they're all moving towards? So Sri Aurobindo would say, we do not know who is moving it, and we do not know towards whom it is moving. So he says, history teaches us nothing. But if you want to know from history something, you have to know not his story, but her story. What is that her story? That is, in this movement of somebody moving this movement, there is the Chit Shakti. It's the Shakti that is moving this entire movement of what we call history. So we have to, unless we add this inner dimension of the her, the Chit Shakti, the outer movement of his story becomes meaningless. Otherwise, youngsters like you will keep on having one more PhD in history, having read Mughal history or this history. What's the fun? What have we learned out of that? A recurring, or Sri Aurobindo calls it a beautiful word he uses. He says it's a kaleidoscope of events. Then keep turning. A new pattern comes in, a new light comes in, but the incidents are the same. There's a war here, there's a war there, there's a conqueror here, or a conqueror there. So he says, if we want to have any kind of a meaning to these events, this torrent of events, we must know her story, the story of Chit Shakti, the one who is moving and making all this history. So when we thought of a seminar, I told my colleagues in my office that let us do something to give this inner vision, this deeper vision. Otherwise, there could be seminars on the history of art, history of culture, history of dance, history of movement. But then I said, what's the meaning of one more seminar on one more incident or one more king or one more dancer? So we hit upon this idea that here is Sri Aurobindo, who is giving us the secret of the inner movement of all history. And Sri Aurobindo was not just there to give us one line. He has given us the inner stories from the psychological point of view, from the spiritual point of view, from the social point of view, from an aesthetics point of view. And this is all what is his 35 volumes of works. You can go through sociology, you can go through philosophy, you can go through psychology. So in history, he has provided something again. So that is what we would like to focus in our seminar this time. That what is that inner vision of Sri Aurobindo that is he has given, that is there behind this human history. So that is the theme, if I want to say. But I will elaborate one point in order to give you an example. From the point of view of spiritual background, the spiritual genesis, the spiritual foundations of this entire thing called the historical, what he calls a torrent of confused events and personalities. What is that? If you say the Chit Shakti, it says in history, in this time history that we call, right in every civilization, be it the Western or the Chinese or the Indian or the Greek or everywhere, every civilization begins with that one aspect of the divine, which is the aspect of wisdom. And in Sri Aurobindo, that aspect of wisdom is represented by Maheshwari. So you see how Sri Aurobindo combines our ancient wisdom, our ancient philosophy, our ancient religious figures to a psychological thing and to this growth of consciousness. So take history from the point of view of establishment of wisdom. In the West, you have the Periclean age, you have the Augustus age. So they are the ages where wisdom came in front through the name of Plato and Socrates and Heraclitus and all that. So that is the wisdom on which the entire Greek civilization was founded. And here we are in India. Our entire wisdom civilization was founded on the Vedas and the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. So that is the foundation. And next, in every civilization, there is the play of power. What we in India would say as Mahakali, the power aspect. And so it happened in the West that after the Greeks came the Romans with the play of power. So wisdom is followed by power. So it happened in India. After the great wisdom of the great schools of thought and the Gita and the Upanishads, came the empire builders. Came this entire question of the Chandragupta Maurya and this Vikramaditya and Chalukyas and all that. A long period of empire building. That's the question of the power, the play of power. So you see, now everything is falling into place. After this play of the empires, there comes the third phase, which in Sri Aurobindo is called the Mahalakshmi. Now, Mahalakshmi is not the normal understanding of the wealth. Here in Sri Aurobindo, it takes a little different turn. He interprets Mahalakshmi as equal distribution of wealth. Wealth is not money alone. Wealth can be anything else. Your riches of nature, riches of gardening, riches of power. So it says equal distribution of wealth. And that came in the West after the Dark Ages came the question of the Industrial Revolution. Of course, in between the Renaissance and Romantic Revival, etc. But then came this period of the Industrial Revolution, when wealth was produced in mass and was distributed and shared. And that the same wealth that came to India. You see, whatever it is, historians may not like the British conquest and all that, it's fine. We don't like it. We have suffered it. But what is the saramsh? What is the outcome? What is the conclusion? They have left behind this commonwealth. Industries were given, projects were given, wealth was taken away, but also was produced. So that is the third phase of Mahalakshmi, that's common between West and East. Then the fourth phase is that of Mahasaraswati. In Sri Aurobindo, Mahasaraswati represents something else. She represents perfection in matter. So what you call today technology and AI is nothing but Mahasaraswati age, where she is guiding every perfection in matter. So matter is becoming more and more subtle. You know, we had this big machine, then came the computer, then came your mobile, then comes your AI. Everything is becoming more and more subtle and sukshma. And so this is the age, we call it under the name of materialistic age, etc. We don't like it. But there's nothing to like it. Materialism is the defense of matter, is the production of matter, which is revealing its divine aspect, its potentials. And today AI, everybody is afraid of AI. But that's part of the evolution of human consciousness. Like we use computers and mobiles, misuse it. We may misuse AI, there's no problem at all. But it doesn't mean we should not have more and more subtle growth. So today I heard from some mobile people warning me, no more AI is a very dangerous thing. This will happen. But so Sri Aurobindo emphasized on the growth of consciousness, that if human beings do not grow in consciousness and stick only to these external things, they will misuse. So here comes the relevance of Sri Aurobindo saying, after this age of materialism or the perfection in matter, the circle would be complete and we will go back to the golden age. A golden age, Satya Yuga, not the ancient Satya Yuga, no. The coming Satya Yuga is much more rich, is much more integral, because every aspect of human being would be developed, the mental, the vital, the physical, material, would have been developed to its maximum. And then a new Satya Yuga would be born, which he calls supramental age. So that is the supramental age to announce which Sri Aurobindo and the Mother have come down, and they have given us in plenty of lessons, teachings and books. And so this kind of a new vision of the future of mankind, I'm bold to say no one else in history has given us till now. And that is why we at Sakar have the privilege of studying something new, unique, unheard of by the common masses of this country or the country abroad. So we have taken this opportunity and we approached the Ministry of Culture, we approached the Pondicherry University, saying that we would like to present something new. That new thing that I would like to offer to the Pondicherry University is called the philosophy of history. History as a subject, as I told you, teaches us nothing. But if we can present from the Aurobindonian point of view the philosophy of history, what I've explained to you in one word, I would call it as the philosophy of history, then you say, yeah, now history has a meaning. Now I know why there's a war between Russia and Ukraine, why there's a war between Israel and... It's not the question of who is doing it, but we know why it's being done. And so that gives us a comprehensive understanding of the events that are happening now. Otherwise, if we just look at the outer happenings, we are surprised, we are shocked, we do not know where we are. So this is an occasion in which all our dignitaries, our other professors, they'll all present this kind of a view. And as I wrote to you a message in the morning, you have struggled a lot. Some people came late last night at 11 o'clock, traveled a lot, inconvenience. Some people landed in a 35 degrees Pondicherry after your Baroda degrees of 22 or 38, whatever. But I can tell you this much, you'll go back home much richer and with a newer vision. So I'm sorry I've taken a longer time, but when Sri Aurobindo comes into me, I have no time to match. So I'll hand it over. Thank you for that.